Why do you keep choosing the same person? Different face, different name, different story, but the same ending. They pull you close, then push you away. They make you feel alive, then make you question everything. They give just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to make you feel secure. And the strangest part? You can't seem to walk away. Even when your friends tell you to run. Even when every logical part of your brain is screaming that this is wrong. You stay. You chase. You try harder. And when it finally ends, when they leave or you finally find the strength to go, you swear you'll never do this again. You promise yourself that next time will be different. But then you meet someone new, someone kind, someone stable, someone who actually wants you. And you feel nothing. They're too nice, too boring, too available. So you walk away from them. And somehow, inevitably, you find yourself right back in the same painful pattern with someone new who feels dangerously familiar. This isn't bad luck. This isn't coincidence. And it's not because you're broken or self-destructive. This is anxious attachment. And it was written into your nervous system long before you ever went on your first date. This is a story of why you're attracted to people who hurt you. And more importantly, how to finally break free. Chapter 1. The First Wound. You weren't born this way. There was a time before memory, before language, before you even had a concept of self, when your survival depended entirely on one thing: attachment. As an infant, you couldn't feed yourself, couldn't protect yourself, couldn't regulate your own emotions. You were completely, utterly dependent on your caregiver. And so your brain developed a system, an attachment system, designed to keep that caregiver close. Because closeness meant survival. When you cried and someone came, you learned, I matter. My needs will be met. The world is safe. But what if they didn't always come? What if sometimes they were there, warm and loving, and other times they were distant, distracted, overwhelmed, or absent? What if their love felt conditional, available only when you performed, behaved, or didn't need too much? What if you had to work for their attention, had to cry louder, be more perfect, prove you were worth staying for? Then you learned something very different. You learned love is unpredictable. I have to earn it. If I'm not vigilant, it will disappear. This is where anxious attachment begins. Not in your first breakup, not in your first toxic relationship, but in the first relationship of your life, the one that taught you what love is supposed to feel like. You learn that love is inconsistent, that it comes with conditions, that you have to fight for it, chase it, prove you're worthy of it. And your nervous system, brilliant and adaptive and trying desperately to keep you safe, memorized this pattern. It encoded it deep in your brain as the definition of connection. Inconsistent love became your blueprint for all love. And now, decades later, when you meet someone who is emotionally available, consistent, and secure, your nervous system doesn't recognize it as love. It feels wrong, foreign, almost boring, because it doesn't match the template. It doesn't activate the old familiar feeling of having to work for affection, of proving your worth, of the intoxicating mix of fear and hope that you learn to associate with connection. So you dismiss them, you self-sabotage, you walk away. Not because you're broken, but because your attachment system is doing exactly what it was designed to do, seeking what feels familiar, even if familiar means painful. Chapter 2. Love as familiarity. Here's the cruel paradox at the heart of anxious attachment. The love you need doesn't feel like love, and the pain you should avoid feels like home. When you meet someone emotionally unavailable, someone distant, inconsistent, hard to read, something inside you lights up. Not because you're masochistic, not because you enjoy pain, but because your nervous system recognizes a pattern. It says, this I know. This is what love feels like. The anxiety, the uncertainty, the desperate need to prove yourself, the constant scanning for signs they're pulling away, the relief when they come back, the terror when they distance themselves again. This is the dance you learned as a child. And even though it hurts, it feels real. It feels intense. It feels like love. Meanwhile, when someone secure shows up, someone who texts back, who makes plans, who says what they mean and means what they say, your nervous system goes, this doesn't compute. This can't be real. What's the catch? You start to question them, doubt their intentions, wonder why they're being so nice. Convince yourself they're hiding something or that they'll leave eventually anyway. Or worse, you lose attraction entirely. You feel bored, suffocated, like something essential is missing. And what's missing isn't passion or chemistry or depth. What's missing is the anxiety, the chase, the uncertainty that your nervous system has learned to associate with emotional intensity. You've been conditioned to believe that love equals activation of your fear response. No anxiety? Then it must not be real love. This is why people say the spark is missing with secure people. The spark isn't chemistry. It's your nervous system going into hypervigilance mode, preparing you to fight for love like you had to fight as a child. The spark is your trauma response, and you've mistaken it for passion. Chapter 3. The Anxious Attachment Trap. So what does anxious attachment actually look like in adult relationships? It looks like protest behavior. When you sense distance, real or imagined, your attachment system sounds alarm. Abandonment feels life-threatening because, to your nervous system, it once was. So you protest. You reach out more, text more, need more reassurance. Try to close the distance by any means necessary. You might overthink every message, analyzing tone and timing, need constant reassurance that they still care, feel intense jealousy, or fear of being replaced, become hypervigilant to any sign they're pulling away, sacrifice your own needs to keep them happy, stay in relationships long past their expiration date. And here's the trap. The more you chase, the more they retreat. Because while you're frantically trying to close the distance, they're feeling suffocated. Your anxiety triggers their withdrawal. Their withdrawal triggers more of your anxiety. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your fear of abandonment creates the very abandonment you fear. You're not trying to be clingy or needy or too much. You're trying to survive. Your nervous system is responding to perceived threat the only way it knows how, by desperately trying to secure the attachment. But to the other person, especially if they're avoidant, it feels like pressure, demands, neediness. And so they pull back, create space, distance themselves, which confirms your deepest fear. See, I knew they would leave. I'm not enough. I'm too much. Love isn't safe. The tragic irony is that you're capable of incredible love, deep loyalty, fierce commitment. You feel things intensely in love with your whole heart, but your attachment wounds make you reach for connection in ways that push it away. You're not broken. You're dysregulated. And there's a difference. Chapter 4. The Dance with Avoidance. Now, let's talk about why you keep ending up with the same type of person. If you're anxiously attached, you're probably magnetically drawn to avoidant people. And they're drawn to you too. It's not coincidence. It's not bad luck. It's a psychological phenomenon called the anxious-avoidant trap. Here's how it works. Avoidant people learned a different lesson in childhood. They learned that emotional needs are burdensome, that vulnerability is dangerous, that self-reliance is the only safe strategy. So they built walls. They learned to deactivate their attachment system, to create distance when things get too close, to equate independence with safety. When you, an anxiously attached person, meet an avoidant person, something clicks. You see someone who is distant, hard to read, emotionally guarded, and your system says, this is a challenge I was built for. If I can just love them hard enough, prove myself enough, be perfect enough, I can finally win the love that was always conditional. You're not actually attracted to them. You're attracted to the opportunity to finally heal your original wound. If you can get this unavailable person to choose you, to stay, to open up, it will prove that you were always worthy. It will rewrite the story. It will heal the pain, except it doesn't work that way. because the avoidant person is also replaying their childhood pattern. The closer you get, the more their system screams danger. So they pull away, create distance, withhold affection, which makes you chase harder, which makes them retreat further. You're both trying to heal your attachment wounds through each other, but you're actually just re-traumatizing each other. You're not compatible. You're codependent. Your traumas fit together like puzzle pieces, but that doesn't make them healthy. This is why the relationship feels so intense, so consuming, so important, even when it's clearly hurting you. It's not love. It's your nervous system trying desperately to complete an old story that never had an ending. Chapter 5. Breaking the pattern. So how do you break free? First, you have to grieve. You have to grieve the childhood you needed but didn't get, the consistent love you deserved, the secure base you should have had. You have to stop trying to get your adult partners to give you what your caregivers couldn't, because they can't. No one can go back in time and heal that wound for you. The love you needed then can only come from you now. Second, you have to learn what secure attachment actually feels like. And here's the hard truth. It will feel boring at first. Flat, like something is missing. Because secure love doesn't create the adrenaline rush of anxiety. It doesn't give you the high of winning someone's inconsistent affection. It doesn't make you feel needed in the way that fighting for love makes you feel needed. Secure love feels calm, steady, safe. It feels like someone who says what they mean and follows through, doesn't play games or test your devotion, shows up consistently, not just when it's convenient, can handle your emotions without shutting down or running away, makes you feel chosen. Not like you have to prove your worth. At first, this might not activate you. Your nervous system might even reject it as not real. But if you can stay, if you can resist the urge to sabotage or flee or find drama elsewhere, something incredible happens. You start to feel safe. Not high, not anxious, not desperate, not on edge, just safe. And from that safety, real intimacy becomes possible. The kind that doesn't require you to abandon yourself. The kind that doesn't leave you constantly scanning for signs of abandonment. Third, you have become securely attached to yourself. This means learning to self-soothe when anxiety rises instead of immediately reaching for reassurance, building a life that doesn't revolve around a relationship, developing your own sense of worth that isn't dependent on someone else's validation, being able to tolerate uncertainty without spiraling, recognizing your attachment triggers and pausing before reacting. You're essentially reparenting yourself, giving yourself a consistent, unconditional love that teaches your nervous system, I'm okay, I'm safe, I don't have to earn love. I already am love. And finally, and this is crucial, you have to choose differently. The next time you meet someone and don't feel that instant spark, that familiar anxiety, that sense of, I need to win them over, don't walk away. Stay. Be curious. Give it time. Because the absence of anxiety isn't the absence of love. It might just be the presence of safety. And safety is what you've been missing all along. You'll know you're healing when you can walk away from people who can't meet you emotionally, no longer drawn to those familiar red flags. You can feel attracted to kindness and consistency. You stop trying to change people or earn their love. You recognize your worth isn't up for debate. The pattern ends when you stop trying to make unavailable people choose you and start choosing yourself. So here's what I want you to understand. You're not attracted to people who hurt you because you're broken, weak, or self-sabotaging. You're attracted to them because your nervous system is brilliant, and it's doing exactly what it was trained to do. It's seeking the familiar, trying to heal an old wound, looking for the love it learned to recognize, even if that love is painful. But you're not a child anymore. You don't have to keep running the same program. You don't have to keep choosing the same painful dynamic, hoping for a different ending. You can rewire. You can heal. You can learn that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. The people who truly love you won't make you chase them. They'll choose you, clearly, consistently, without games. And you deserve to be loved without having to earn it every single day. You always did.